Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do? We gonna dub.
Remember, we want you to be an activist, and don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley.
Look up something to back check, kind of like cross reference.
I should put the.
Hey, look that shit up. That's the name of your show.
Yeah,
that's right. What really drew me in.
Yo, and hope I don't get in trouble for playing that last video. I probably shouldn't have played that shit. I'm always testing the damn waters, bro. That shit gonna get me.
You are now
Who and what are we gonna complain about tonight?
You are now
It kinda sound like it was made just for me.
Man, I got this.
Nah, I got this.
It kinda sound like it was made just for me.
I got this. Don't try to stop this. Niggas fall down like I'm spitting out some hot shit. I'ma melt your bones down to the floor. This Liddy Mac coming through swinging fofo.
You gon' catch an elbow from my kinfolk. We don't give a damn, we gon' smoke more dope. You can't keep up with my speech. You gon' get beat down to the street.
Nigga preach when I come with the sermon. Niggas didn't learn their lesson, but now they burning. Tossing and turning, cause you can't sleep. We decreased your earnings, now your crew can't eat.
Can't eat. Talking about it was a studio leak. Maybe it's cause your lyrics so weak. I heard Mo out a little Bo Peep.
Plus your boy sucking dick on the late night creep. I got this.
Nah, I got this.
It kinda sounds like it was made just for me.
Man, I got this.
Nah, I got this.
It kinda sound like it was made just for me.
I got this.
Nah, I got this.
It kinda sound like it was made just for me.
I got this.
Nah, I got this.
It kinda sound like it was made just for me.
Too much. Coming soon. Stay tuned. Hey.
And now, another major production.
I'm about to tell you what the real is. Deep down inside, you got to feel it. Emotions have the most number of killings. Pay close attention to your feelings. I'm about to tell you what the deal is. And when I'm talking, all I'm hearing is some crickets. Hurry honey, run and get your ticket. Just getting money is not always the business. Forget the $1 million mission. Sometimes I just want to go fishing instead of physically grinding in the trenches. Finding me using my knowledge, intuition. Chaka not talking while he so distant. Chaka be talking but they don't listen. He's sitting, his brain pumping like a piston. I've been chasing the twilight, now I've been bitten. The city's in my sight as if I was a pigeon. Your role is cast, Your dialogue is written, it's past control. You're like a Sims minion, what to do now but roam around in and out of buildings. Seemingly living, touching ceilings, but there's no feeling. Willing and dealing, but really there's no winning. I'm sinning and sinning, so what? I'm defending stuff's like prison, stuck in the life out of living. I'm about to tell you what the real is, Deep down inside you got to feel it. Emotions have the most number of killings, Pay close attention to your feelings, I'm about to tell you what the deal is. And when I'm talking, all I'm hearing is some crickets. Hurry honey, run and get your ticket. Just get the money, it's not always the business. They say they do it for the money and the power. I'm just trying to get some peace in the shower. Protect what's mine without being a coward. Watch loved ones take time to breathe in the flowers. I've seen these G's get knee deep in powder because he needs to succeed in ours. Fuck your lifestyle, it's weak and it's sour. Fuck your lifestyle, it's weak and it's sour. Watch I come through and do like I do. Watch he come through and lose like he do. I'm a Hebrew, he just evil. We both hate people and church steeples. One thing certain, demons lurking. They be stressing, we be surfing. She be twerking and it look like it's hurting. I be perping, close the curtain. They give you lithium to get rid of that shit? I'm about to tell you what the real is, Deep down inside you got to feel it. Emotions have the most number of killings, Pay close attention to your feelings, I'm about to tell you what the deal is. And when I'm talking, all I'm hearing is some crickets. Hurry honey, run and get your ticket. Just get the money, it's not always the business. I'm about to tell you what the real is, Deep down inside you got to feel it. Emotions have the most number of killings, Pay close attention to your feelings, I'm about to tell you what the deal is. And when I'm talking, all I'm hearing is some crickets. Hurry honey, run and get your ticket. Just get the money, it's not always the business. You boys think you real. What is real? Whatever it is, it's not you. For real. You know what I'm saying? KCE, we coming. It's the takeover, bitch. Y'all ain't ready. This is some whole new shit. For real.
One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. A mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's time to check the mic and best of bet. I'm about to wreck it to the leather. Jealous people hate but don't debate. Just check my measures. Electric by design. I even shine in stormy weather. Attempt to meddle and tether this mental treasure, and you find yourself embedded in the chasm in the desert. Thirsting for hydration, no libation, empty kettle. Take it to another level, add the bullet in the shovel. Got you on the bubble, double trouble. See you stumbled, and it's about to get repugnant like a kitten in the rumble. Quick to fluff and tumble, best be humble when we come through, cause I have you stiffing under. Mama wonder where you went to.
1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. What you gon' do? It's the KCE crew. We making you look like Fu chew. Proper grasshopper who with the kung fu. Cut and slice nice like Benny Hanna do. Take quick bites like the tip of a piranha tooth. Go ahead and steal my mic, watch it blow up right in front of you. We coming to give you something good like some Beetlejuice. Give you something good like some Beetlejuice. Who do you think you are? You ain't gonna get real far. Driving your shifty car, following Diddy farts. I'ma be a Twitter star. I'ma be a Twitter star. Keep dreaming about how big you are, cause we about to pick apart everything that's in your heart. Control and leave you torn to shards. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte. Selling junk like Sanford Son. Wax on, wax off Daniel son. Selling junk like Sanford Son.
1 2 1 2. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Yeah. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. I'm tripping cause my mind's gone from always seeing tragedies. Can't close my eyes cause it's around me, I just call it reality. Can't paint no perfect picture like an artist they can't sell. Is what they try to instill in me, but my pockets seem to swell. Doing it like them ghetto boys did it back in those days. And we been jamming Pippin Bun, long live UGK. And before Eminem, we had Bill and Gangsta Nip. But we don't trip unless we on the plane taking a trip. And these suckers trying to contest us, but they find out we ain't no busters. We much more than screw, we keep it gutter. Mic check 1 2, y'all cannot touch us. We don't be causing no problem, son. Coming at me like Daniel son. You would get defeated, wax on, wax off, out to the righteous one.
1 2 1 2. That's mic check 1 2 1 2. You already know. Yeah. 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Dude, I could blink my eyes and provide an entire fountain of sound effects pounding directly on your neck, having flashbacks of the tragic act back when the boom bap was replaced with pop rap or hip hop or whatever you call that. We need a lockbox or something to keep this weak pox from spreading. I'm heading outside of the outsiders, opening your mind wide. The silly rabbits are at it again, but they can't hide us. Sit tight, Mr. Hip Hop. We'll find your daughter. Ought to be easy. She emits a homing frequency. We picked it up back in '98, and we're actually surprised that it took us so long to triangulate her exact location. But congratulations, check it out. We about to get her right now. We already found the captors, trapped them and slapped them around. And burn the hideout to the ground.
Yeah, a 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Let's make it hot. A 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, we want you to be an activist. Don't take our word for it. Look that mess up. Thank you, God, for this day we have lived, everything in our life, our health, our family, the guidance you have given us. Allow us guidance to the path of righteousness with no sway towards the evils of the devil. The devil. Amen. I really want to make that better. Definitely distracted by the screen. Let's change that. How y'all feel out there? You feel good? It's good to feel good. It says 58,000 worth of sex toys stolen from Texas Sexology Institute. 58,000? The world's most extravagant vibrator. It says early on June 30th, 3 men pried open the lock of an adult entertainment store on St. Mary Street. What state is this? Oh, Texas. Where the hell is St. Mary Street? It says a single pink dildo and socks were among the few items that were left when thieves broke into the Sexology Institute in the King William neighborhood last month. King William neighborhood. Stealing 58,000 worth of sex toys, lingerie, the cash register, and the world's most extravagant vibrator. 58,000 was that? They probably didn't have much in the cash register, I guess, but I don't know. That number seems weird to me. What do I know? I guess I'm not in the market for buying designer sex toys. I didn't put nothing up here. Well, let's look at this. I posted this. Can y'all see this? Shit, I need somebody here. Florida court rules teenager not mature enough to have an abortion. A pregnant teenager will be blocked from getting an abortion, a Florida court ruled on Monday. The 16-year-old initially petitioned to terminate her pregnancy, citing being a student and unemployed as reasons she is unprepared to have a baby. The court ruled she was not mature enough to make the decision to have an abortion, blocking her from getting one. The trial court found, based on the non-adversarial presentation below, that appellant had not established by clear and convincing evidence that she was sufficiently mature to decide whether to terminate her pregnancy, this decision read. Though the teen appealed this decision, the appellate court upheld the lower court's decision. In order for a minor to get an abortion in Florida, they must provide a physician with written consent from a parent or legal guardian or request a waiver. The teenager explained her father is unable to assist her and that her guardian is fine with what she wants to do. He said the transcript demonstrates that the minor was knowledgeable about the relevant considerations in terminating her pregnancy, along with 4 other statutory factors. She had done Google searches and reviewed a pamphlet that she and her family members got from their visit to a medical clinic to gain an understanding about her medical options and their consequences. Medical options. The teen's case is a result of the U.S. Supreme Court in June overturning Roe v. Wade, the landmark 1973 case that gave Americans the constitutional right to an abortion. Abortion laws are now left up to the states. Since the Supreme Court decision, Florida banned abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy without exceptions for rape or incest. Well, that's that. Kind of wanted to talk about this, but I don't know if I don't want to do that. I'm waiting for people to get in here. Y'all know how it goes. If y'all ever get here early, I always start off slow to kind of give people time to get in here, because I hate getting into my topics and then having to repeat it. It really sucks. It sucks. Whoa, what was happening there? More weird things. This is the world we live in. Would you implant a tiny debit? Oh shit, it went away. It says, somebody says, what in the mark of the beast shit is this? Okay, yeah. Well, we knew this was coming. It's not surprising. Hold on, let me start it over. Hold on, do they have sound in it? I knew it was gonna be music. Fucking pay with just your pawn, Amazon One, fast, convenient, contactless sign up here. Can y'all start this over? It says, would you implant a tiny debit card chip in your hand? Forget fingerprint or facial recognition. Biometric payment is being touted as the future. Yep. We knew this was coming. Is this real? Let me see. The choices you make will determine what happens to your soul. This is the caption underneath the post by Let Us Awaken. Then they have a Bible quote. I guess I'll read it. Revelations 13:16 through 17:16. And he casteth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. 17. And that no man might buy or sell have he that had that mark, or the name of the beast, the number of his name. The mark of the beast is coming soon. Be watchful. Praise be to God for showing us to the tall tale signs right before Judgment Day. These are literal signs from God to come to him in repentance and faith. Keep ignoring it in your own soul's eternal expense. Somebody says, we already chip in the hands. It's the phones. Wake up. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not going to really make comments. Let's play this.
And you got to stop lying. You just have to be real because it is your nature to be polygamous, and it's causing a lot of confusion and heartache because a man is trying to be committed to one woman. Simultaneously, his nature, he wants to be with multiple women, and then men lying about it to the woman, and the woman not understanding man's nature. So it's just heartache, but you're gonna go through the same thing with the next dude. So we have to understand that polygamy is natural. That polygamy is something that we have to come into. Biologically, it makes sense.
So for the fellas, how about when you start the relationship, you let the woman know, I don't think I am a one-man woman. Can you accept me for who I am up front? This is what I may want. This is a now conversation you can have with the modern day woman.
A lot of times women do men dirty because they was with another woman. And man, you got to stop lying. You just have to be real because it is your nature to be polygamous, and it's causing a lot of confusion and heartache because a man is trying to be committed to one woman. Simultaneously, his nature, he wants to be with multiple women, and then men lying.
I think the lies are the real problem. Hey, Ma. Can you hear me? I hope I ain't been muted this whole time. Can you hear me? Oh, she froze up. I hope it's not my side. Let me read the comments if there are any. It says, no lies told is the caption. This is the same page from earlier. What does it say? Somebody said, not for nothing, but it's dudes in these comments fronting like they only want one, scared to speak the truth because they girl monitors every move they make on social media. A lot of brothers is captive in abusive relationships, to be honest. You tried telling her in the beginning you was for the streets, and she's still trying to turn you whole ass into a house husband. Then the Bible thumpers want to act like polygamy wasn't a standard practice and not only reserved for royalty. We need to change the merit. Hold on. Damn it. What they say? We need to change the marital norms. Marriage is really more of a corporation that produces workers at the end of the day. Anyway, stream my new song. Okay, whatever. He said all that to plug his stuff. Good job, though. You got me. Oh, man, we lost her. Try to click back in. It says, it's the lies for me. It's like the raw truth. Let me know what I'm dealing with. Can't stand surprises. That's me all day. That could have been my comment right there, Christy Yora. She says, it's the lies for me. I like the raw truth. Let me know what I'm dealing with. Can't stand surprises. I love raw truth, man. And I could deal with that way faster and easier, even if it sounds really horrible to you. People are so self-conscious and they're so worried about what other people think that they can't be honest. They won't be honest with themselves, and they definitely can't be honest with their partners because they're too embarrassed. They're too worried about what everybody thinks. So, but if people would start, being, completely honest with each other, then you could communicate about things that are uncomfortable to talk about. And then those things will become comfortable to talk about because, you've gotten past that stage of, y'all know what I'm talking about? Call me crazy. Hey.
Chaka.
Yeah.
I'm having some technical difficulties.
Yeah. Well, I can hear you loud and clear right now. Oh, you can't hear me? You can't hear me? Yeah, it looks like you're freezing up. Man, that sucks. Well, I just want to say, how you feeling? How you feel?
I'm feeling real good. At least about me another and can
you breaking up? You said she brought you a new recliner and something else? I think you froze up. Oh man, that sucks. Are you close to your router? Move closer to your router, your internet router. Oh wait, you're in the room, the TV room. The internet router is in there,
Yeah,
right?
I'm in the TV room. No.
Oh, it's in another room. Yeah, you probably
It's
far
in there
away from
with
it.
Barry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I feel good. Alifa bought me a new chair. That other one was killing me. Yeah. So I don't wake up hurting.
That's nice.
Yeah. And she got her injections yesterday.
Yeah, I talked to her. She told me.
Yeah. Now it's my turn.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it'll be a couple of months before I have to go to the doctor. I'm going to tell him I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that works out.
Yeah. But I'm tired. I'm finna go to bed.
Okay. Well, it was nice talking to you.
All right. I love you.
Love you too.
Tell my baby I love her.
Okay, I will.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, let me exit out of here. I'm kind of still waiting. Video shows child falling out of moving car. Like, how does that happen? Yeah, what was she doing for that to happen? It could have went really badly.
Oh, Lord Jesus, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, skid that diddly dee.
I love his little voiceovers. I got some stuff for y'all. I don't want to get into it yet.
She make it clap, clap.
Why do they have? And then it was a probably BBL issue.
1990 and credit scores were created in 1989. Thank you, Nina Turner, for pointing out that we can live without them. We keep it a stack. Overdraft fees and credit scores was really just created for financial gatekeeping and for keeping particular people outside the economy while always already sustaining people's position inside of it. This is how social constructs are created. Shit happens out of thin air, and then over time, off of practices and procedures and norms, society just agrees to sustain. And now here we are, 32 years later, paying overdraft fees. Gatekeeping for real, think about it. Credit scores are literally used to filter what type of house you can buy. Prior to 1989, how was y'all doing that without credit scores? It might sound crazy to some of y'all, but this makes sense to me, man. Nina Turner, you own this, but too. We should do away with overdraft fees and credit scores because they get in the way of us being able to thrive and survive. I did not know that overdraft fees were created in 1990 and credit scores were created in 1989. Thank you, Nina Turner, for pointing out that we can live without them. We keep it a stack. Overdraft fees and credit scores was really just created for financial gatekeeping and for keeping particular people outside the economy while always already sustaining people's position inside of it.
Man, I've been saying this for the longest, and you sound like a crazy person when you say this stuff because people have accepted it so wholeheartedly. The caption says it's a setup. Let me see. Credit scores were created to have an unbiased effect on who is able to get loans and so forth. Because before the credit score, we couldn't get a loan because it was determined by loan officers who work for the banks. Credit scores sort of speak made the playing field more even, supposedly. I don't pay overdraft fees because I don't overdraft. There's your solution. And if you have to overdraft at the moment, then you better make sure you can pay it off before midnight. It's that simple. Can't be mad that you're overspent and they're charging you for using the money and not giving it back. You mess up your own credit acting like that. I ain't gonna lie, I'll use them like a loan. So if it's I've learned that shit a long ass time ago. You could treat it like a loan, the overdraft, and just pay that fee. It'd be cheaper than the loan, actually, if you do it right. Another one that says, nothing can happen without our agreement. Nothing has value until we give it value. Well, we've given that shit value, haven't we? And black people are the worst with they're always screaming some shit about, it's like that's a dating requirement for black people. I don't know. Maybe it's like that for other people. I don't know. This says the FICO score was created in 1989. Credit score was created in 1959. And supposedly before then, just a small scale. Shoot. I suck at this. Financial irresponsibility is what's getting in the way of thriving, and no damn credit scores and overdraft fees. Y'all come up with anything to not do well. Never forget the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. I know for a fact you can do away with overdraft fees and maintenance fees. That's one way for banks to earn money off the consumer. Banks are not your friend. They invest in the stock market with your money. They get a large return, and you only get pennies. You are paying them to hold your money in 2022. It's hard to do away with credit scores because sooner than later, everyone is going to be determined with your credit score. It's too many easy ways to fix it now to not have a good credit score. It says you don't need credit scores then. And they're laughing. I don't know about them saying there's so many easy ways to fix your credit. Like that sounds like that shit that people be saying all the time. It's like if you're in a pyramid scheme, they're like, it's easy. Just sell more for more product. It's easy. Just get more people up under you. Get them, hey, look, everybody else is doing this. I did it. This guy right here, he did it. It must be you. You can't do it. You gotta work harder. Because if it was easy to just fix your credit legally, then everybody would freaking do it. Why is so many people they're all just lazy? Is that what you're saying? These people are just lazy. That's why their credit. Back to school vibes. That's what I want to talk about is back to school. That's the name of the show today.
Popes in existence. Everyone knows of the white pope, Pope Francis. A little less known is Arturo Sosa, the black pope, the leader of the Society of Jesus, or better known as the Jesuits. And for a quick refresher, Pope Francis is also a member of the Jesuits. He's actually the first white pope to ever be so. Now, a lot of people think that the black pope, the leader of the Jesuits, is the real power behind the papal throne, but that's not the case. There is another with far more power and reach than the other two combined, the Grey Pope, Pepe Orsini. The Orsinis come from a long papal bloodline of the black nobility that are the real movers and shakers behind world control. The best way for me to break it down is this: the Rothschilds and Rockefellers answer to these people. Think about that. Did you know there's not one, but 3 popes in
I don't know about this stuff, so I can't make any comments. Let me read the caption. It says, I often forget that we belong to a secret society called the Inner Sanctum of the Conscious Community, not to be confused with the debate circuit or woke politics or whatever else consciousness is confused for. As students of Bobby, Phil, and Durbert, we take for granted the lessons that have been taught to us without realizing we represent easily the 1% of people on the planet who have been exposed to this information, and even fewer of us have a firm grip on understanding that the information, and even fewer of us have an understanding of how to apply it, and even fewer of us are ritualistic as to how we apply this understanding. So we are a select priesthood, an inner sanctum of consciousness, the nuts and bolts that make this thing go round, students of metaphysics, occult, esoteric information, the mystery and the history. And with that being said, as students of Valentine, we know about the 3 popes, but how many people on the planet you think know about them? Let alone can put the information in perspective that allows them to actually do something with it. I took notes and cooked up Pape Pablo 44 as a direct expression of me not only understanding, but finally being in position to do something about it. It sounds like you're just tooting your own horn there, buddy. Are you sharing information with us? Break it down. Break down the Pope thing. Moving on. Russia unveiled a robot with an attached rocket launcher at a military convention. Damn, bro. That's scary as fuck. The machine was dubbed M81 and advertised as a combat unit capable of striking targets and transporting ammunition. Damn. You ain't even gonna be able to see that thing. It's just it's a damn gun that walks around. Ooh. It probably can't aim worth a shit, though. I can't see how it would be accurate with aiming. It's got a scope on there, so who's ever controlling it, it'd be like a drone, right? So, but still, the aiming would probably be tough. Because that bitch, it might just be like just kind of a scary toy, but not really practical. Because like I say, I think there's a problem with that. Because, if it's a rocket launcher, it's going to move. It's got kick and shit. So like, how strong is that thing? Can it really just anchor itself in the ground and do a nice shot without it moving? I don't know. Maybe it can. Or it'll just... I can't imagine how that would work out because it doesn't look big enough to actually be strong enough to hold it when it takes off. But we don't know how heavy it is. It might have some heavy ass weight. Oh, if it had a counterweight underneath it that's really heavy, heavier than the gun, then that would hold it in place. And whatever... That's me overthinking it. That's scary, huh? That's scary. Russia unveiled a robot with an attached rocket launcher at a military convention. It's like, look what we got. The machine was dubbed the M81 and advertised as a combat unit capable of striking targets and transporting ammunition. Ain't gonna lie, that thing looks scary, bro. You would be scared as hell because even if you blowed it up, it's like, okay, you blowed it up, but you didn't really accomplish nothing. Like, how many more of them damn things that got hoes just start coming out in droves? You're gonna be like, oh shit, bomb the whole area, airstrike this whole area. They come out like ants or spiders or something. Ooh, man. They all got freaking rocket launchers on their back. That's scary. I really don't understand these clips. Sometimes people think they're being clever. I don't see anything in the clip. Nina Turner posted this. She said caption this. I don't know. They signed the what's the name into law? What was it? Let me move on. Where y'all at, man? Where y'all at?
Processed milk for your health. Many of us grew up with the phrase "got milk." We were encouraged to drink 3 servings of dairy per day. That push was funded by the dairy lobby. They went into the free public schools and encouraged us to poison our bodies. The science is in. Drinking milk increases arthritis, osteoporosis, and is linked to fibroids. At the same time, we are seeing increase in cancer diagnosis across the board. That's because milk is full of pesticides, synthetic hormones, pus, bacteria, and viral matter. Let's not forget about parasites as well. Part of the reason you're craving it is because you're infected with parasites who love dairy and acid.
Follow at Heal with Ginger DeClue on Instagram and click the link.
Everybody knows, man. What is going on in the world? I would click on that, but I don't know what it's going to show. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's an old-ass clip. Oh, so I didn't know. I'm not going to mention it.
Orgasm at the end. Well, her name is Dash. She owns Pure Intimacy. The way I found her was that one of her clients had squirted all over her massage table on Twitter. And I was like, hey, my name is Sexual Essentials. I need to book one of these and then I need to interview you right afterwards. So I booked the corner.
You'll never land. And you won't go through the changes. You don't listen. Listen to your heart and what's feeling, what you feeling inside. You got to listen to that. If you don't take notice, it's going to make you sick. So when you're showing people something, or you're telling a story, a Dreamtime story, or a new dreaming story, or about a plant and how this plant goes, and how it grows, why it grows, then you're listening. I would get people to sleep with a leaf or need a tree and listen to the tree, listen to the heartbeat of a tree, go into a deep meditation to listen to it, or listen to the water running. And then you'll connect more within your spirit. The spirit of the water, the spirit of the wind. So everything's connected, but by listening. Number one is listening skills. If you don't listen, you'll never land.
Listen. I be screaming that shit. People really don't listen, like at all. They don't. They think they know already. There's no reason to listen because they already know. So, why should I listen to you while you're talking? I already know what you're going to say before you even going to say it. I don't have no reason to listen to you or anything else or anybody else for that matter. I don't know. They'll never admit that they think that way, but they do.
With the Los Angeles Lakers,
why do you always gotta put music? I think I'm gonna go into one of my videos and we'll chop it up on it. Let's see. Hold on, let me refresh my screen here because this looks weird. Give me a second. Okay, that's better. History. Socialist economy inevitable. I was watching some of this. I kind of wanted to wait for Pat to get in here on that. Oh, Liz Cheney. We can do that. Let's do Liz Cheney. It's pretty funny. I don't know if you guys follow it, politics at all, but Liz Cheney, she lost. And it's really because of Trump. I mean, she wouldn't back the team, so she got voted out. And Trump has taken a victory lap about it. And I don't know. It's just politics.
And tonight, Harriet Hageman
has received the most votes in this primary. She won. I called her to concede the race.
Are you thinking about it? Are you thinking about running for president?
Neocon queen Liz Cheney lost her primary race in Wyoming, largely because she wouldn't back Donald Trump's lies about the election. Now, in this video, I will go over, hopefully quickly, because I don't want to put you through a 10-minute video of me talking about Liz Cheney. I will go over how ridiculous this praise is of Liz Cheney, just because she acknowledges Trump lost the election. But that said, this is what happened. Harriet Hegman, the winner, somebody who thinks that Trump won the election, 66.3% to Liz Cheney at 28.9%. Before I go any further, here is a quick clip from Liz Cheney's speech.
2 years ago, I won this primary with 73% of the vote. I could easily have done the same again. The path was clear, but it would have required that I go along with President Trump's lie about the 2020 election. It would have required that I enable his ongoing efforts to unravel our democratic system and attack the foundations of our republic. That was a path I could not and would not take.
So this is somebody who is getting a lot of praise in the press because she, as I said, is against Donald Trump, or I should not against Donald Trump. I will be clear about how she is so not against Donald Trump, but she is acknowledging the results of the election in 2020 that Biden won. Okay, well, that apparently deserves a lot of praise, but let me get to what matters here that is being, of course, very much ignored in this entire discussion, largely by mainstream press outlets. I mean, when you go online or even read some articles, it's very clear that most people recognize Liz Cheney, not a good person. But just to clear the air here, in case you've been stuck to MSNBC and CNN and even in some cases Fox News, then you may have a different view of who Liz Cheney actually is. So, and actually in the case of Fox News, definitely as well, because they're criticizing her because she is, or at least some people like Tucker or Laura Ingraham criticize her because she is very anti-Trump. Also not the case. But Current Affairs here has a great breakdown that I will go through here. So Cheney threw her gay sister under the bus in an attempt to get elected to the Senate, switching from not opposing same-sex marriage to opposing it when it was politically convenient. Cheney attacked Barack Obama for being insufficiently militaristic and supposedly wanting to weaken the U.S. As Maureen Dowd notes, Cheney, quote, cheered on her dad as he spread fear, propaganda, and warped intelligence. From her patronage perch in the State Department during the Bush-Cheney years, she bolstered her father's trumped-up case for an invasion of Iraq. Even after no WMDs were found, she continued to believe the invasion was the right thing to do. Cheney fought the construction of the Park 51 Islamic Center in Lower Manhattan, arguing it would be a victory for terrorists. Cheney appeared to defend birther conspiracies about Barack Obama, saying they arose because people are uncomfortable with having, for the first time ever, I think, a president who seems so reluctant to defend the nation overseas. Cheney supported Donald Trump's positions 93% of the time in Congress. Cheney voted against the American Rescue Plan. Cheney portrayed lawyers representing Guantanamo Bay detainees as terrorist sympathizers. Cheney said it was libelous to call waterboarding torture, even though it very obviously is. I will show you a clip of that shortly. Cheney supported Donald Trump's re-election campaign in 2020, even though he was arguably the worst criminal in human history. So, based on all of this, look, if you have been, again, just very narrowly stuck in a certain worldview on politics, you know, it's someone who is very casual, doesn't pay close attention, but you're being told that Liz Cheney, this brilliant politician, the one Republican or one of two standing up to Donald Trump, trying to ensure that he is investigated over January 6th. That part, fine. It's good that Liz Cheney's involved in that, is doing that. Then again, anyone else could have been there. But whatever. Okay. She acknowledges reality. Okay. Congratulations. But this is who Liz Cheney is. Liz Cheney is no different from your typical Republican crazy person, because that's who Liz Cheney is. She herself is a crazy. Supported Donald Trump, voted with him 93% of the time. Like, and on some of those votes, by the way, just to be clear, Liz Cheney opposed the Voting Rights Act. So this beacon of democracy, opposing the Voting Rights Act, minimum wage increase, opposing Equality Act, Equal Rights Amendment, George Floyd Act, Build Back Better, Infrastructure Bill, Inflation Reduction Act, $35 insulin bill, Women's Health Protection Act, anti-gas price gouging bill, and voted with Trump, as I said, 93% of the time. Now, quickly here is the quick clip on her comments about waterboarding.
Waterboarding, aka torture.
Well, it's not torture.
I can't use 60 minutes at all, not even this short segment.
In case you don't know what waterboarding is and how serious it is, this is an explanation here from the ACLU. That right, waterboarding or water torture is a brutal practice whereby an interrogator straps a prisoner to a board, places a wet rag in his mouth, and by pouring water through the rag, induces controlled drowning. It is a paradigmatic torture technique that has long been considered a war crime. Indeed, the U.S. has prosecuted enemy soldiers and even U.S. troops for engaging in the practice. Although this barbaric practice has been uniformly renounced by the U.S. and other nations committed to human dignity and rule of law, the technique has reportedly been used against terror suspects in CIA custody in so-called black site prisons. So it is a well-known torture technique. Liz Cheney, this is not an old video. Here she is acknowledging or giving her opinion here that it is not torture. Again, showing you that this is not a good person. Last thing here. What's next for Liz Cheney? This shows you how completely crazy the press is. So I'm going to play this video, and I mean, a lot of this speaks for itself, but I will get to how absurd this is.
The former president said last night you're now headed to political oblivion. You said this fight is just beginning. You've even launched a political organization already. So let's just be straight about it. Are you considering running for president yourself?
Well, what I'm going to do, Savannah, is spend the next several months completing my work in Congress, obviously completing my work representing the people of Wyoming. We have a tremendous amount of work left to do on the January 6th committee. And also, though, I'm going to be making sure that people all around this country understand the stakes of what we're facing. Understand we've got to get this party back. And talking about, fun.
But Congresswoman, you didn't answer me yes or no. But are you thinking about it? Are you thinking?
But it is something that I.
In what world, putting aside Liz Cheney's answer here, in what world would the media ask this question to anybody else? Only people they want to prop up. Liz Cheney just lost a primary. What other candidate or politician would they ask, are you going to run for president now that you lost your election? Who is Liz Cheney's support base apart from cable news anchors? Honestly, this is somebody who has clearly been rejected by the right. Why would the left want her? She voted with Trump 93% of the time, doesn't support anything that the Democratic Party, and forget that the actual left, I mean just the Democratic Party, doesn't support anything the Democratic Party supports. What is her constituency?
I guess she would run as an independent.
The media continues trying to prop Liz Cheney up and make this into something. This is so.
She could run as a spoiler,
absurd. But of course, Liz Cheney is loving it all. This is her vanity project. Yes, okay, it's good she acknowledged the results of the election, but that's the extent. That should be the extent of any kind of praise, if you can even call that praise. This is somebody who is terrible and is only doing what she's doing now because she's seeing a political opportunity to potentially come out the other side of a Republican Party that may not, be with Trump for the rest of time.
Yeah, I think that's what her hedge. She's hedging her bets. I think a lot of them are doing that, and it hasn't been working out, bro. Trump has been hanging in there for the long haul, bro. It's like people ever since when he ran, there was a segment of the Republican Party that was like, okay, at some point we're gonna come back to sanity or whatever. It's at some point people are gonna be like, nah, I'm off that. Grab her by the pussy. Like at some point, something. He gonna say something, and it's gonna come back. And a lot of people have been hedging their bets on that in the Republican Party, and it hasn't been working out. It hasn't panned out yet. So it's a rip in the Republican Party. There's a split. You got the Trumpers, and then you got traditional conservatives. But there's a gray area with that. It's really confusing, that constituency. You know, I'm into politics, you guys. This is my sports. Y'all watch NFL and I'll watch the NFL too because I'll be playing Madden. But you know, y'all watch all the sports and stuff. I watch the politics and I get into the intricacies of that. So the Trump constituency or the Republican Party, it's really kind of complex, because one of the parts of it that really makes me think is like the evangelicals, you know, that really follow Trump, that really feel Trump. And it's like they have to put some of their, you know, religious sensibilities to the side to support Trump. So like, I wonder how that works within them. How does that work in their mind, and how do they justify that? You know, that's one thing I would love to understand more about. Let me read some comments underneath the video. It says, let me see, is there a caption? No caption. First comment, it says, she's so heroic. Remember how she voted with Trump 93% of the time and jumped off the Trump train after it broke down? Heroic. Another comment, it says, it's a testament to how bonkers things have gotten when someone is either praised or crucified for doing something that simply makes sense. Oh my God. I that's it right there. That comment right there. I mean, like, it's the, you know, the Donkey Pony show is so ridiculous. Like, you know, everything is so politicized. Everything is so left or right. Everything is so right or wrong, and everybody's so, you know, on one side or the other. Everything is used as a political tool. Like, you could do the absolutely right thing, but if you're the wrong person, then, oh man, it's crazy. Let me read some more. It says, she should have lost over literally everything she's done over her career. Iraq war, supporting overturning Roe, throwing her gay family member under the bus, etc. Another comment, it says, Liz Cheney was born into a family that is worth tens of millions of dollars, pretty much all of it ill-gotten. How brave is it for someone like her to risk her seat, and to do so by doing what's right when it comes to an election? It's nice that she has some sense of integrity when it comes to the election and the insurrection, but isn't that what we should expect from our elected representatives? Liz Cheney is no hero, and after she finishes the January 6 hearings and leaves office, let me see, I don't ever want to hear from her again. I think a lot of people probably feel like that. Her political career is probably over. Let me read some more. It says, yeah, it's getting weird out here. She really, really is a terrible person to praise, especially for simply acknowledging reality. Another comment, pretty sad when we celebrate a politician being honest. We need people who are always honest. Another comment, she wouldn't even vote to pass the John Lewis Voting Act for more access to the ballot box. That's how heroic she is. Another comment, just that last fact that she supported Trump's re-election in 2020 is all anyone needs to know and understand about who she really is. I think that sums it up, because they all flip-flop. Tulsi Gabbard is a good example. Can I play this one? Tulsi Gabbard. I'm a fan of her still, but she's so fake.
But let's check in on Tucker Carlson's show last Friday. There are, of course, all sorts of conservatives and, frankly, you know, elite centrists who want to make this about like a political thing. They don't want anyone to entertain the notion that perhaps Donald Trump, in hiding 12 boxes after they had already delivered 15 boxes of highly sensitive information that one would not need to keep on to as a memento if you were president. This is not like, you know, I couldn't throw out my kid's kindergarten, workbook or something like that. That's not a violation, that we should just allow for that. And let's check in with Tucker Carlson, because I'm sure we'll hear that from that reactionary show. Oh, he had a fill-in host. Oh, well, let's hear what she
look
had
who it
to
is.
say.
Now, whatever your views are on Donald Trump, there's no denying that the unprecedented raid on his Palm Beach home earlier this week has set our country on a dangerous new course, and there's no turning back. The FBI's raid on Mar-a-Lago changed the
Don't she look like a? She's cute. Don't she look like she got fangs, bro? Like, it's like, I'm like, I always look at Tulsi Gabbard that way. Yeah, it's like what's that show on HBO? True Blood. There was a lady on True Blood, and she was the media person or whatever. And it was like her fangs just kind of poked out a little bit. Anyways, I can't help but to think about that.
country that we grew up in. We grew up believing that, hey, our government will apply the law equally to all Americans, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. We're seeing more and more that that country no longer exists.
Holy
law
crap.
enforcement. at the
Pause it
highest-
for 1 second. Let's be clear here. I thought it's amazing. First off, it's not that the former president who absconded with literally dozens of boxes of sensitive material and then returned half of them and claimed that he had returned all of them. That's not what set this country off on a dangerous course. It is the fact that investigators went there to get it back. Stolen goods from the United States. To get it back. That's what set this country off in a distant course. And then as kids, we all saw the government applying the law equally. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That statement in and of itself is just total bullshit. But the idea that idea is now ruined because a president is held to account for law breaking is just bizarro.
It's crazy that all these people say like that this could happen to a powerful person means it could happen to a non-powerful person. No, it's been happening to non-powerful people.
People go to jail for not paying their parking tickets in a bunch of these. Yeah, if you don't have the money to pay for the fine, are you kidding me? And how many people have gone to jail? That Chinese scientist who worked on Chinese American scientist, I believe he was an American national, who worked on stuff at Los Alamos. I can't remember his name. Went to jail for having those documents. I think they accused him of being a spy.
Wenho Lee.
Wenho Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen this time and time again. If you have these, listen, if there's any doubt in your mind that if that was not the former president of the United States, but I don't know, the assistant deputy at, the Defense Department, that person would be in jail. They would not be releasing statements. They'd be in jail right now, right this moment. They would be in jail. They would have been in jail after. There wouldn't have been like, can we have those boxes back? Okay, here's my lawyer signing off. Here, take the boxes back. They would have been in jail with the first 15. Continue.
Levels of government, whether it's the DOJ, the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and now even the IRS have been weaponized to target the political opponents of the Uniparty, the permanent Washington, and the Biden regime. Attorney General Merrick Garland has already issued a stark warning to anyone who dares to disagree with these tactics that are all hallmarks of a dictatorship.
What?
Let me address
Pause it for 1 second. She is a lunatic.
Uniparty, she said.
The IRS has been weaponized to punish whom?
Well, that's what everyone on the right is saying, that Trump's or Mar-a-Lago reiterated and the IRS expansion stuff is all one big
The
conspiracy. That's the right
IRS
word.
is being expanded to go after wealthy people because all they've been doing because of all the cuts that they have been subject to
That's not true.
by both parties, although more so by Republicans. Because of the cuts, they go after people who are poor.
I mean,
who are
that
getting
is
earned
true,
income tax
but
credits.
That's not true. That's who
Because
they.
they know that these people don't have an army of lawyers. And it's an easy.
This is the sale. What he's saying is the sale. It's true that what he's saying, but the IRS is not going after these the people who are tax dodging. That's not what is happening.
Easier layup. Like, in what universe is someone of the left criticizing the expansion of the IRS? I'm sorry. Give me an effing break.
You're authoritarian against people that want to launder money and evade taxes.
There you go. Dictatorship. Is there more of this? I didn't realize I watched like the first 20 seconds of this and I'm like, I've seen enough. I didn't realize how bat crap crazy this is though.
Yep. I had a similar feeling. I was like, oh, it's just her Tulsa being Tulsa. But I was like, oh, she's really, the writer's really.
Yeah, she's not. That's
issued a stark
somebody else
warning
wrote this.
to
She's
anyone
reading
who
the
dares
teleprompter.
to disagree with these tactics that are all hallmarks of a dictatorship.
Dares to disagree.
Let me address recent unfounded attacks on the professionalism of the FBI and Justice Department agents and prosecutors. I will not stand by silently when their integrity is unfairly attacked.
Whoa,
You
pause
are
it.
not-
Whoa. I didn't realize that Merrick Garland was going to actually vocalize that FBI agents have integrity. And that's what a dictatorship does when it is critiqued. They vocalize.
I used to watch that show back in the days. I don't watch it anymore. I'm still subscribed, but hardly ever watch this show because he's so. I'm not gonna. His. Let me read the caption. It says, Tulsa Gabbard filled in the Tucker Carlson while he was on vacation Friday evening and discussed her feelings on the FBI searching Mar-a-Lago. Gabbard, speaking like a right-wing lunatic, said the search has set our country on a dangerous new course and there's no turning back. So many thoughts. I think that what we have to get from this, though, just watching the segment of Tulsi Gabbard on the Tucker Carlson show, and what I try to say all the time, and I know people don't really get it because they're taken in by this like reality TV type stuff, but the words of Tucker Carlson when he's on the Tucker Carlson show are not necessarily Tucker Carlson's words. It's really true. So, okay, there's writers, all right? So just like we're watching Tulsi Gabbard do her performance on the Tucker Carlson show, I'm sure Tucker Carlson would have said those exact same words. It wasn't Tulsi Gabbard's words. She's reading the script, And I think that people get lost in these personalities like Rachel Maddow or whoever. And you're like, oh, I like Rachel Maddow, and she's really smart, and I agree with her point of view and all of this. But you have to think for a second, is Rachel Maddow's views really Rachel Maddow's views? The views that she has on her TV show, are they the same as her when she goes home? I guess maybe you don't really care, but I guess that most people don't really just think that far. They take it for face value. And I'm saying don't do that. Rachel Maddow can have good information. Tucker Carlson can have good information. Take it, for what it is. But don't, have this cult of personality, have this dogmatic view of them, They and don't think that the words that they're saying are their words either. They're just freaking talking heads. Very high paid ones, but they're talking heads. They're not saying what they really want to say. Because if they were, they wouldn't be on these big old shows making all of this money. Who's going to pay you a whole bunch of money for you to just say what you want to say? Never. Never. Let me read some comments. It says, she looks so pleased with herself. She's finally where she belongs. She's probably making loot too. They must really like her, at Fox to plug her in as a substitute for Tucker Carlson. It's a good opportunity for her because Tucker Carlson has a huge audience. So maybe I'm sure the Tucker Carlson viewers know who she is, probably most of them, but maybe it's some of them that don't. And this is her opportunity. So it's like major as anchor. That's where she's going. So politics. Anyways, that's how they do. It's revolving doors with the politicians, even the CEOs of these corporations, like the board, along with the lobbyists, and along with the media, the big pundits. They all just circle in and out, like along with the CIA and whatever. And if y'all start paying attention, you'll see. Let me read some more. It says, I don't think Sam gets enough credit for how well he calls out those right-wing grifters in disguise. I'm seeing him get plenty of pushback over the years for characterizing Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, Dave Rubin, Tulsi, Jimmy Dore, Andrew Yang, Glenn Greenwald, etc. in this way. But with the passing of time, he keeps getting proven right again and again. This comment shows why I don't watch Sam's show very much, because he's off as fuck on a lot of shit. Sometimes, and then it's really just a lot of fluff. Like his show is totally just like.
And tonight,
Let me stop. People probably say the same thing about this show. What do I know? I don't have nobody in here right now. Where y'all at? Come join the show. Where y'all at? Doc, Deuce, Pat, Elliot. Where y'all at? Is capitalist society economy inevitable? Let me see. I'm gonna take a break from this. This is how it goes when you're doing live shows, though. Never know what's gonna happen. Never know how it's gonna work out.
I have no food, but I just wanted to make this video.
That's not real, I don't think, because the way those spots are on his hand, they're too synchronized. Everything is so fake. Fake ass world we live in. Bail bondsman. Snitching, somebody snitching probably. Fake. It says Florida court rules. I talked about that earlier. I'm sure this is fake too. I don't even want to see it. Everything is fake. And then the algorithm pushes the fake shit. So it's not. I'll be thinking about what goes viral. Some things organically go viral, but some things are pushed by the algorithm. And the algorithm pushes nonsense. It pushes distractions. It pushes divisive stuff. Not just people, but the algorithm. Like there's somebody put their thumb on the nail, thumb on the dial with that shit. Because how come positive stories, you could say that people as far as people being negative and liking drama and stuff. I could say, okay, that's fair. But still, every now and then, like something really good that's informative and even revolutionary, helpful, would go viral every now and then. But no, it doesn't. Like never. Some shit about some charity shit, like a feel-good story of somebody winning the lottery or some bullshit. Not something straight authentic that's helpful to people, like inspiring, really inspiring to people. Not fake inspiring, really inspiring. And it would go viral every now and then, but it doesn't. Because there's a screen on that shit. It gets pushed down by the algorithm. The garbage gets pushed up. and the cream gets pushed down. Everything is backwards. The ignorance. They talking about how, like, I don't know, man. You know, it's all about making money. So people don't even care about learning stuff. They feel like they don't need to learn anything. And like, I got my phone, I could just look it up. Man, I guess that works, bro. Until the lights go out. They're like, lights are never gonna go out. Okay. Their phone is dead. What are you gonna do now? Don't know how to do shit. What if you can't order food? You know how to cook something? If there ain't no freaking takeout or delivery or a drive-through or a restaurant to go to? I don't know. Call me crazy. I'm feeling frustrated because nobody here to talk to. It keeps me, I don't know if y'all can hear me sometimes. That shit throws me off, man. Because when I'm scrolling, I can't see my screen.
No, you think he's doing a good job, bad job?
He sucked. He ain't doing shit.
Get Joe Biden out of office?
Get him out. Get his ass out. Get him out, coach.
What do you think about the Biden administration redefining the term recession?
That doesn't sound like a recession to me.
This is the worst recession we've been in. To be honest, we've never had a recession where gas, housing, I mean, you name it. At one time, even when people's houses were going into foreclosure, those people that lost their homes could at least still go into a grocery store and buy a regular price item. Now you got houses that are out of control, cars out of control, gas out of control, food out of control.
So technically we're in a recession, but Joe Biden and his administration say we're not. What do you think about that?
He crazy too.
Yeah?
Yes.
Do you think that he's doing a good job or a bad job as president?
Bad job. He making it worse. Hey, we could have kept Donald Trump for this shit.
As a 17-year-old who is in college and high school, I'm in dual credit. If you need help, just let us know because I'll step in. Because at this point, y'all ain't doing it right. I am a female, so yes, I'm aware of what Trump has done in the past. But as far as running a country, he did better than Biden.
I feel like everything going up. Like it's not making sense to me how when Trump was here, everything was low. Like we had like $2-3 worth of.
Are you happy with Joe Biden as president?
No, I'm not.
No, you think he's doing a good job, bad job?
He sucked. He ain't doing shit.
Get Joe.
Yeah, this is a funny clip, but I don't like how people keep saying this as far as Biden, Trump, as far as the way the economy is and shit like that. It's so much bullshit because you can't blame Trump or Biden for this situation. You know what I'm saying? They have limited power anyways. You know, this is deflection is what this is. This keeps you from actually looking at what is really causing the problems. You know what I'm saying? That's what it really is. And I think that's the whole point of it anyway. So that's the whole point of it anyways, to have you distract you and have you looking in the wrong direction of what's going on. So, well, just so happened the economy was good when Trump was in, and just so happened the economy is shit when Biden is in. So maybe it's correlated, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Okay. And I'm gonna go with it's not. Okay. There's only small little differences between the two related to fucking the way the economy goes. Trust me on that. So, you know, it's all bullshit when it comes to that. So what we need to be looking at is these corporations and what they're doing, bruh, period. If you want to blame the politicians, then blame them for not regulating the corporations good enough. Blame them for being in bed with them and getting paid money from them, from their fucking lobbyists, and paid for their campaigns and shit. That's how you can blame them for this. But who the hell is causing all of this shit is the corporations, period. You know, a lot of these prices, they don't even look at the damn amount that the gas companies made for 1 quarter this past year. I posted that shit. I don't know what the number is right now, but it's ridiculous amount. These are profits, people, profits. You know? Okay, so like they're saying that it costs more, so they have to charge more, so then their profits should be about the same. No, these are billions of dollars an increase in profits for 1 quarter. Okay, so that's where the price is right there. It's going into their pockets. That's not going into Biden's pockets other than the money that the freaking companies are paying him. Y'all gonna keep blowing fingers. It's the Democratic Party. It's the Republican Party. It's Trump. No, it's Biden. No. Trump and Biden come and go. The ones that's running the show still there.
Garbage bag.
Making customers dumpster dive to find their size. That's funny. I think Kanye West be trolling y'all in different kinds of ways. He be laughing at y'all ass too, because he be making y'all do that stupid shit.
Between Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, and Denzel Washington. Why y'all be doing this? Why can't we just have them all, man? Everybody, y'all always snatching somebody off the table as blacks. Now, first of all, Eddie Murphy ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna just say that off the top. Eddie Murphy is solidified. Coming to America, Beverly Hills Cop, Life, goddamn Golden Child, Trading Places. I'm an 80s kid. Eddie Murphy ain't going nowhere. Not to mention goddamn Shrek. Denzel Washington is my favorite actor, so he's going nowhere. All right, those two are solidified. So now that leaves Martin or Will. Now the cold part is, either way, I'm losing Bad Boys. God damn it, I'm losing Bad Boys. Man. Let me rethink this. So now it comes down to this. I'm a movie guy. Okay, when it comes down to the Fresh Prince or Martin as a TV show, I feel like the Fresh Prince holds up better than Martin, but pound for pound, Martin has harder laughs. Piss, if I lose Martin, I'm losing House Party. Will Smith has better movies than Martin. Piss, who made this? If I lose Martin, I'm losing Life with Eddie Murphy. Piss, who made this list? I'm losing Boomerang too if I lose Martin. Ha. I'm losing Will Smith, goddamn. Man, who be making these? One gotta go between.
Yeah. That's funny, between Will Smith and so he chose Will Smith. I think I would have made the same choice. He's not the greatest actor. Same crime, different time. Yeah, well. Man, if y'all don't join, I'm gonna freaking end this host early.
Okay, so like if he was making like, let's say he just started his own business, but he makes $45,000 a year, would you date him?
You wouldn't be able to afford my engagement ring. I'm getting an 8-carat cushion cut vintage engagement ring. If you make $45,000 a year, it would take you 4 years? No, 8 years to afford.
But how much? I don't know anything about rings. How much is that?
About $200,000.
Girl, you want a $200,000? Are you insane?
My ring has to sparkle from across the street. Like you have to see that shit. It's gonna blind people.
But that's so superficial. That's like so superficial.
But it's about so much more than that. It's about the fact that you can afford that, right? I go to yoga with this girl who has an 8-carat diamond engagement ring.
Yeah.
So the weed company and drives an Audi.
So
it's about more than just it's about the fact that you can afford that.
Okay, well,
That sounds so stupid to me. I'm sorry.
Would you be cool with a guy that makes less money, but he's a hard worker, like he's ambitious?
Yeah.
Okay, so like if he was making like, let's say he just started his own business, but he makes $45,000 a year, would you date him?
You wouldn't be able to afford my engagement ring. I'm getting an 8-carat cushion cut vintage engagement ring. If you make $45,000 a year, it would take you.
It's funny how they always have a plan before the guy has to fit the mold that she already created before you even get there. Let me read the comments. It says, what would Kevin say? Uncle Kev would say she gonna die alone. Another one, it says she'll be lucky if someone even gives her a damn rhinestone. It says they keep reinforcing my preferences. I didn't get that one. Wait, but you don't even look like you are. Never mind. Enough internet for me today. Another comment, it says, it's so sad that sisters with that mindset are going to grow old and alone. 200K on a ring and y'all ain't even bought a house yet. Shaking my head. He would look at her, hang up, and proceed to say the same thing I just said. You can't make this shit up. The entitlement is wild. She tripping. That's her goal. I will be grateful and appreciative just to even be engaged. This shorty right here will be lucky if she even gets a cubic. Manifestations are real, though. She will get him. Will she be happy, though? And what kind of stuff will she accept? What if he's beating her? He got the 200K, though. Another comment, it says, women have been having the audacity for a long time. Laugh my ass off. It's too many women that think like this, but can't give that man none but some bap and a headache. Telling you. What are you bringing to the table? If I'm buying you a 200K ring, then you should be buying me a 200K, I don't know, car if that's what I want. Give him a Lambo. I buy you a ring, you buy me a Lambo. We got a deal now. It says just one of them days. This guy's trying to hold his boat. It looks like it's on a hill too. He out of there. He's out of there. Man, I hope it's not fake. Well, I don't want his boat to be damaged. Let's say it is fake. It's fake, and then his boat's not damaged. Let's go there. What the Green Party's Jill Stein believes. Let's play this. We've been on politics.
We do not take money from corporations, from lobbyists, and we do not have super PACs. We say get the money out of politics. It should be publicly financed, period. We are really a party of, by, and for the people. We have the unique liberty to stand up for what it is that people need. We call for free public higher education as a basic right. We also call for bailing out a generation of young people who are locked into predatory student loan debt without the ability to repay that debt because the jobs aren't there. We call for a minimum $15 an hour living wage. Climate change is undoubtedly the greatest threat faced by humanity ever in our history. We need to mobilize now in order to clean up our energy system and transform our economy to 100% clean renewable energy by 2030. We call for a foreign policy based on international law and human rights, not on economic and military domination. We need to end the war on drugs and treat drug issues as public health issues, not as a crime. We need to have an improved Medicare for All system, which provides health care as a human right for everyone, cradle to grave, head to toe.
It's crazy because in the States, that stuff sounds really crazy, but in most of the other European countries, none of that stuff would sound crazy. You know, the only part that they would argue with would be the switching everything to renewables 100%. And probably the argument would be how long it would take. It wouldn't even be the argument like it was going to be here. So, but yeah, you know, I think it's good. I mean, you know, to hear this or whatever. I mean, but like, it's not like the Green Party has any shot. It's not like pretty much any of those policies have any shot here in the States. It's really sad. Some of those ideas are actually pretty damn good. Comments underneath it. The caption says, learn about the Green Party from Jill Stein, Dr. Jill Stein in 2 minutes from 2016. We are human rights warriors. It says, we also have gotten, this is a comment. We also have gotten more leftists since 2016 and most people don't know it yet. I don't know about that, man. It says, where is Jill Stein these days? Green Party. Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Can't play any of that. I think I'm gonna go to another video and I might wrap it after that. Let's see.
Who she says was running away and causing trouble at school.
My daughter told me that the worker had been telling her that she should do these things. So she said she decided to video her.
you give me something to eat, please?
CPS is housing the girl at a hotel. She's one of dozens in Harris County. In the video, she tells the CPS employee she wants food. The CPS worker tells her to be a prostitute. To Child Protective Services to help her with her 14-year-old daughter, who she says was running away and causing trouble at school.
My daughter told me that the worker had been telling her that she should do the.
That's a fucked up story, but I can't help but to wonder what is going on. Like the mom is like, okay, so what is happening? Why is she running away? Like, what is up with the mom? Like, what is going on? And then the CPS, and then it's like, so she's trying to be protective of her child, I guess, but what happened for her to end up out there in the first place? Somebody says, this is why I need to finish my social worker degree. These people don't care for our kids. Shaking my head. You know, I think a lot of people be like, okay, you shouldn't go to school for social work, but it's like, you know, these people go into these fields not about how much they're going to get paid. They're going in it to try to help things, you know. Not everybody is, you know, everybody has different roles. That's why I feel like, you know, you could go to school for different things because we need, you know, it's like everybody can't just go to school for engineering. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be all different, everything, whatever the child is interested in, let them learn about that thing, and that'll contribute to society. It will. We do need art. We need art. We do need music, you know, dance, drama. We do need that shit. It's okay. You know, it's okay that the kids go to school for that, you know, and as a society, we need to find a way to support them, because that's really what happens. These people, a lot of people are artists, but they can't make a living with that, you know, so now they just got to get a job, and then they're miserable. They're just sitting there all day doing some mundane activity just to make money when they want to be creating things. You're putting these people in a prison. Not everybody wants to do it. And our society will be greater with diversity, with different people who know how to do different stuff. You know, everybody, you know, they just want you to go to school for, you know, to be a lawyer, to be a doctor, to be an engineer. They've been saying that shit since I was a kid, probably since before that. So you're going to make money in those careers. So you want to make money. The parents tell the kids, you want to make money. You don't want to struggle in your life. So, but why is the society set up this way where you're going to struggle in life if you do what you really want to do in life? You know, everybody got to make constellations on what they want to do, because otherwise they're going to struggle and starve. Well, then what kind of system is that? How did we end up here? I'm hot. I haven't cooled off. It was really hot today. And I still haven't cooled off. It's after 1 a.m. Those BBLs are out of control, y'all. Stop doing that to your bodies. It's not cute. It's not healthy. Everything is so plastic and fake, y'all. Stop it. God already made you perfect. Somebody's going to love you just the way you are, the way God made you. Be your authentic self. That's when you're the most beautiful. Your hair is the most beautiful when it's your natural hair. Everything is more beautiful when it's natural. What if they put BBLs on your banana? Would you eat the banana? It's really common sense, but they got it so detached from nature, so detached from reality that we're sold on these fake ass dreams, on this fake ass plastic shit. We're all in this competition to be like, I don't know, an elite. I don't know, the most beautiful, the one who gets the most clicks, the person who has the most money, the most square footage, the most number of cars, the most number of Jordans. We're hoarding everything. We want to be the greatest hoarder of whatever. Vanity, ego, attitude. whatever it is, we want to be, and it's all debauchery stuff. It would be cool if we was competing like that about who could have the most integrity, who could be the nicest, who could be the most altruistic, you know, who could help the most. We don't compete in stuff like that. We compete in selfish stuff. But that's because the system got us on that. Y'all like, that's what makes the world go round, but that's not what makes the world go round. It does only because of this artificial, fake-ass world that we live in. It's created by someone else to have you on a hamster wheel. I'm going to play some of this, and then I'm going to wrap it, because it says, is a capitalist society, wait, no. Is a capitalist socialist economy inevitable? I think I could play this. This is heavy. I probably just play some and talk about make comments as we go.
What can I do? What should we do? What can we start? What program could we launch? I would say to the billionaire change agents and corporate social responsibility departments of our country, ask not what you can do for your country, ask what you've already done for your country.
The United States is a country which is among the least equal in the world. According to Credit Suisse, which is a Swiss bank and not some kind of crazy left-wing organization, we are second in the world in wealth inequality after the Russian Federation. In the United States, since the 1980s, basically 90% of the American population has seen no improvement in either wealth or income. Almost all of the improvement in wealth and income has been in the top 10%, and most of that's been in the top 1%, and most of that has been in the top 0.1%, and most of that has been in the top 0.01%, which means that not only are people not moving forward objectively, but the way they experience the world, and this is very powerful, is that other people are on top.
Living systems have what are called healthy hierarchies. So it's not that hierarchy is bad, it's that hierarchy that where the top extracts from below is definitely bad and unsustainable. So, you know, take the lion in the forest or in the jungle. The lion is at the top of the food chain, but the lion sits around sleeping most of the day rather than eating and killing all day. And the lion therefore serves a very healthy purpose, hierarchical purpose in the food chain, keeping the herd, keeping the balance between smaller animals and large animals. But when the king of the jungle decides to extract as much as possible for its own benefit, you have a very unhealthy system. And unfortunately, that's pretty well describes what the modern capitalist system works, where there's benefits of scale. The bigger get bigger, they get more powerful, they get more political influence, but their intention is to maximize shareholder value, because that's what we do. So the cycle of growing inequality is sort of locked into the system design.
Locked into the system. It's because of the exponential growth. It's the idea of exponential growth, you know? And like you said, so if the lion just ate all day and just, you know, insatiably ate, then at some point it wouldn't be no more animals to eat, you know? And that's what's going to happen, you know, at some point. I mean, you can't keep consuming. We overconsume, consume. At some point, you know, we're going to tip the scales. And that's where they talk about like population control and stuff like that. Instead of consuming what you need, you know what I'm saying? They favor this overconsumption, and then they want to fix the problem by just having fewer people. And that still doesn't fix the problem, because the fewer people are still going to have insatiable. And then as time goes on, we become more able to consume because we have these technologies to help us consume. So we just, you know, it'll be less people, but we'll be consuming more.
Before you want to start something of your own, a little private, unaccountable venture, do an audit. What do you pay people? You pay people enough? Do you use subcontractors to avoid responsibility for those workers? Do you pay benefits? When do your benefits kick in? What do you lobby for in Washington? Do you lobby for things that make everybody have a better life in America, or do you lobby against social policies that would cost you something? What's your tax avoidance situation? Do you happen to be this earnest company that wants to change the world? I mean, is this company paying its full measure of taxes? Does it use tax havens? Does it do the double Dutch with an Irish sandwich tax maneuver? Does it send money to the Cayman Islands and then back and do all this complex routing?
Now, to be middle class, you might not be able to have a summer holiday. You might not be able to own your home. You certainly wouldn't have 2 cars. What interests me is also we had this idea of the middle class as this solid thing, and now it's a shaky thing. We also had this idea in the middle of the 20th century of it as a humdrum, boring thing that we wanted to escape, kind of like Revolutionary Road, Richard Yates. And now it's like everyone just wants to get into it, into the dream, the American dream of the middle class that's now so unstable, right? So one of the things that happened was unions weakened. It used to be that 30% of employees were in unions in the 60s, and now it's 7% in the private sector. And that's a pretty huge drop off. And at the same time, you're seeing a lot of workforce become gigified or turn into freelance, contingent, et cetera, not stable, not with healthcare, not with the promise of security and long-term.
Man, and I've been seeing more and more articles talking about how, like, you know, the whole Uber thing was a scam from the jump. And it's a lot of that's like that. And it's like, you know, they sell it to you and you think that it's a good move or whatever. But it's really like a way to give up your rights as far as like, because if you're an employee, you have to be treated a certain way. You have to get a certain amount. They have to give you certain things. But when they say you're just like freelance, then they don't have to give you that stuff, you know? So, you know, I mean, again, it's a rip, you know? And the other part that she mentioned, the unions. And then, you know, in our political climate right now, most people are like, you know, they're against unions. And it's because of the rhetoric that we hear, you know, from the media, the propaganda that we hear from the corporations, from your own job, you know, to discourage this stuff. And it is true because they're so hardcore on unions that as soon as somebody starts talking about anything, then everybody will be fired. So everybody's scared of their own job. They're trying to cover their own ass, you know, and people are already struggling. They want to make sure their kids can go to that school, or they want to make sure their kids can do soccer or baseball or dance or whatever the hell, you know, and they want to make sure that they can pay that car note on that Range Rover or whatever the hell, you know. So then that's what they're worried about. It's like, okay, it would be better if we can get the unions and then hopefully get paid some more and get some more benefits, and they can't treat us so badly and just fire us and got to give us severances and stuff like that, give us time and all of this stuff. But shit, if we fight for that shit, they probably just come in here and fire everybody. Then I'll be looking for a job, and I might lose my car. I won't be able to take my kids to the fucking practice.
Term employment. There's other reasons why the middle class has been under siege. One is the concentration of wealth. You see the rise of the 1%, the rise of the wealthiest. Since 1997, the income of the top 1% has grown 20 times the rest of us. They're an ownership class, so they tend to own many of the corporations that are, say, creating the Uber economy, are hiring people to drive part-time.
It's funny that she said owner class, because we was talking about in the other video about it not really being a middle class. It's, you know, you have the owner class and then you have like the worker class, and it's like, that's it. And but she was saying middle class, and then she said owner class just now. So the owner class is better to understand it, because you can understand really what's going on in the world. Because we were talking about in the video how, like, a person who, you know, he owns something, and he's only making like 45, 50 a year, but his life is way different from this other person who's making 45, 50 a year, who has to work, you know, every day.
Time, or the companies which employ people at hours, which means which mean that they can't take care of their children. hours in the middle of the night or odd hours in the early morning.
One of the fundamental problems with our American right-wing politics of inevitability is that it generates income and wealth inequality, and it explains away income and wealth inequality. And so you get this cycle where objectively people are less and less well off, and subjectively we keep telling ourselves this is somehow okay because in the grand scheme of things, this is somehow necessary. Individuals and families no longer think, I've got a bright future. They no longer believe, and this is something Mr. Trump got right, even if he has no solution and he's making things worse on purpose, they no longer believe in the American dream. And they're correct not to do so. If you were born in 1940, your chances of doing better than your parents were about 90%. If you're born in 1980, your chances are about 1 in 2, and it keeps going down. So wealth inequality means the lack of social advance, means a totally different horizon. It means that you see life in a completely different way. You stop thinking time is an arrow which is moving forward to something better, and you start thinking, maybe the good old days were better. Maybe we have to make America great again. And you get caught in these nostalgic loops. You start thinking, it can't be my fault that I'm not doing better. So whose fault is it? And then the clever politicians, instead of providing policy for you, provide enemies for you. They provide language for you with which you can explain why you're not doing so well. They blame the other, whether it's the Chinese or the Muslims or the Jews or the blacks or the immigrants. And that allows you to think, okay, time is a cycle. Things used to be better, but other people have come and they've taken things away from me. That's how the politics of inevitability becomes the politics of eternity. Wealth inequality, income inequality are one of the major channels by which that happens.
If you're telling me that there are companies that do none of this stuff, that pay people well, that don't dump externalities into the economy, that don't cause social problems, if there are such companies exist, yeah, then once you've taken care of all that, great. Doing some projects to help people is great. But I haven't found very many such companies. And more often than not, when companies do a lot of CSR, it's because they understand that they're not on the right side of justice in their day operations. So they want to do virtue as a side hustle. And the problem is a lot of these companies tend to create harm in billions and then do good in the millions. And you don't need to be a mathematician to know that we're the losers from that bargain. And you look at the B Corp movement, there's a lot of companies that actually have an interest in trying to invent a new kind of company that is not predatory. There's in the B Corp movement a certification process for those companies now. The challenges of them is that it's a great thing, but it's fundamentally voluntary. And what this does is it means that if you're an already good, virtuous company, you may be motivated to get into this club. But if you're Exxon or Pepsi, you're not gonna be in this club. And one of the things I'd like to see is how can we actually use the power of public policy to get more companies to sign up to simply not dump harm, social harm, into our society, whether that takes the form of toxic sludge or obese children or workers with unpredictable hours and income.
The job numbers may look like they're up, but first of all, that they often speak to how many jobs people are having, multiple jobs, which is not a great state of affairs for a lot of people. People now have more jobs.
Yep.
Each person has more jobs than they did in 2016, like individuals. So it's up by 2% or something like that. So, it's substantial. And but you can be looking at these job announcements and you could be thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I figure it out? Why can't I get that second or third gig? But the point is, why should we have to have all these side hustles? Why should we have to have second acts when we're 42?
Traditionally, technology has moved us from low value occupations into higher value occupations. So while we always decry the loss of jobs, we usually create new jobs which are more fulfilling and less taxing. And therefore, those who've cried wolf when they've seen technology laying waste to the previous occupations, those people have usually just been wrong. But the problem with software is that software spends most of its time in loops. Almost all code can be broken into two kinds of code: code that runs once and never repeats, and code that loops over and over and over. Unfortunately, what jobs are is usually some form of a loop where somebody goes to work and does some version of whatever it is they've been trained to do every day. Now, the danger of that is that what we didn't realize is that our technical training for occupations maneuvers the entire population into the crosshairs of software, and not just a question, it's not just a question in this case of being moved from lower value repetitive behaviors into higher ones. But the problem is that all repetitive behaviors are in the crosshairs of software. So I think it's really important to understand that where we are is that we may need a hybrid model in the future, which is paradoxically more capitalistic than our capitalism of today, and perhaps even more socialistic than our communism of yesteryear, because so many souls will require respect and hope and freedom and choice, who may not be able to defend themselves in the market as our machines and our software gets better and better. And this is one of the reasons why something like universal basic income comes out of a place fiercely capitalistic like Silicon Valley, because despite the fact that many view the technologists as mercenary megalomaniacs, in fact, these are the folks who are closest to seeing the destruction that their work may visit upon the population. And I don't know, I think, of any 9, 10, or 11 figure individual at the moment that I'm familiar with who isn't worrying about what we're going to do to take care of those who may not be able to meet their expectations with training and jobs as in previous models, whether it's, truck and car driving is one of the largest employers of working age men, threatened by self-driving vehicles, or any of the other examples, for example, computers that are capable of writing sports stories from the scores alone. So in all of these cases, I think the technology is actually forcing those who are most familiar with it to become most compassionate. And whether or not we are going to leaven our capitalism with some communism, or start from some sort of socialist ideal and realize that if we don't find a way to grow our pie very aggressively with the tiny number of individuals who are capable of taking over operations of great complexity, I think that we are going to have some kind of a hybrid system. I wish I could tell you what it was going to look like, but the fact is nobody knows.
We have gotten away from the idea of true capitalism. Now we have people who claim to be capitalists saying, I want to restrict our resources, that we have a finite amount of resources. So I got to make sure only my kids get opportunities at school, that we're only going to have access to capital, that my tax breaks are going to be here and at the expense of other folks. And that's actually not true capitalism. We grew as a country when people say, hey, listen, it's important that everyone has access to a good education. It's something of great importance, because that means the more people that are educated, the more ideas, the more growth we're going to have. And that's what capitalism is based on. And I go back to art, music. It's what jazz is all about. It's an American aesthetic. It's freedom within form. Yes, there's confinement and restriction and technical proficiency, but the idea of the jazz solo as an improvisation is a finite amount of notes with an infinite amount of combinations. And so that's what capitalism is, right? There's ultimately an infinite amount of possibilities with this finite group of people. But the more people that are in the mix, the more ideas that are going to come about, which produces growth.
Brute power determine the spoils.
I don't want to lose y'all. Let me read some comments. The name of this video was, is a capitalist socialist economy inevitable? Comments. I find it telling that public discourse used to refer to the population as citizens, but at some point the language changed to consumers. It was such a subtle change that few noticed, but language matters, particularly language that repeated again and again over time. Let me read another one. It says, we have a joyless economy. Spot on. We've created a society on which few are genuinely happy. We've become nothing but consumers. Another comment. I'm a month away from 65. I remember Reagan firing the air traffic controllers, and I remember arguing with friends who supported him that he was turning workers against workers and that we needed to stand together. I watched the collapse of the middle class. I'm sitting here wondering how different my life would have been if it hadn't happened. Not financially. I've never really been someone who desired wealth. I mean, emotionally. How would I be different today if I hadn't seen so many people hurt by this economy? I can deal with having less things. It's the loss of happiness that really bothers me. Wow, that's heavy. The joyless economy is so poetic. One phrase to encompass why I've avoided full-time jobs my whole life, while I watch people give their whole life away to be old men who didn't enjoy the majority of their waking life. Let me read another one. Students who acquire large debts putting themselves through school are unlikely to think about changing society. When you trap people in a system of debt, they can't afford the time to think. Tuition fee increases are a disciplinary technique, and by the time students graduate, they're not only loaded with debt, but have only internalized the disciplinary culture. This makes them efficient components of the consumer economy. Noam Chomsky. Another comment. I believe we need to make education free for all. An intelligent democratic society is a society that is able to make intelligent decisions. And amen to that, because I think it should just be free and people should be able to study whatever the hell they want to study. And the world would change. People are more educated. They'll know more. They'll make better decisions. It's real simple. They'll create new devices. They'll create new economies. Let me read some more. It always amazes me that when you look to the products of humanity, the arts, music, film, literature, etc., there's a reoccurring message of the little guy fighting for justice and freedom from the big bad oppressive force. People love that stuff. Yet when they turn around and argue politics and economics, they forget about it all and fall in line with what they've been told. They will go along with an idea that they see with their own eyes does not work and feel ashamed if they even think to question, let alone reject what they know to be a lie. It's quite an excellent brainwashing. Oh my God. These are some intelligent comments right here. Let me read some more. More people should know about this. All through school, I was taught about how evil socialism and communism was. Anything can be bad when employed wrong. Capitalism can be bad when done wrong. Doesn't mean that it can't work. I believe a capitalist socialistic mix is what we're heading towards. There should be a bare minimum for country citizens that we could all expect. It used to be that way. Now a full-time job gets you 2 roommates in California. My apartment in Sacramento requires you to make $6,050 a month for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath to ensure you could afford the rent before moving in. That's a lot of money for most, and most starting jobs here won't pay you anywhere near that much starting off. $15 an hour minimum wage, 40 hours a week is $2,400 a month gross. It's sad. So many are without and are struggling. Yes, that makes me think about something right here, because I was gonna mention this earlier because it was a post I posted, but the numbers are a bit off, but I be doing that all the time. Like, I'm careful about what I repost, but if it's the numbers being off, I ain't tripping on that, because I just feel like, we need to focus on the ideas. We don't have to get caught up in the numbers all the time, but the basic idea is what's important. Let me share this, and we're going to come back to that. Like the names, who cares whose name it is or who's, I want to know what they said. I want to think about the ideas. I don't want to memorize that person's name. So, okay, this one was a post. Can y'all see this? Let me double check. Okay. My fucking glasses are cloudy. It says cost of rent in Texas, average 1-bedroom apartment up 30%. Minimum wage needed $18.79 an hour or $39K a year. It says current minimum wage in Texas is $7.25. And then it says 105-hour work week needed to afford a one-bedroom apartment. So that's where the numbers get kind of crazy right there. But the point is valid. Okay, the current minimum wage is $7.25. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody knows the rents have been going up everywhere, including here. You know, so that's what matters. Let me see. Oh, I thought that was the okay, anyways, I didn't put anything else. I typed my poster said the pinch is in and being homeless will land you in jail in Texas. So it's like you see how the rent is so high, right? And then they're cracking down on the laws related to being homeless. It kind of seems like a coordinated thing. Does it not? Are these things not related to the other? Shit. Oh shit. I'm pressing buttons way too fast, y'all. I'm sorry. I want to go back to the video captions. Okay. Another comment, it says, I look forward to a future where our basic needs are taken care of. I think more people will be creative and artistic with the confidence that their work doesn't need to make them money. That's what I was saying earlier. And then if they're not stressed like that, then who knows what they're going to create? Somebody's going to create something that's going to blow everybody's mind if they had time to freaking do it. Let me read some more. It says 1620, that's a timestamp. Politicians create an enemy for you with language to blame instead of a policy to create the necessary change. Politicians create an enemy for you with language to blame instead of a policy to create the necessary change. And that's what's happening. And you see in the media, and it's like, you know, like earlier I played the clip Trump, Biden. So you could just blame them. Oh, it's Biden. Oh, it's Trump. Let me read some more. It says, harm in the billions and good in the millions. I absolutely love that quote. I will have to use this. Another one, inevitable, it's already here. Just ask yourself who gets bailed out when capitalism fails. This level of wealth inequality hasn't been seen since the pharaohs. We already have a capitalist socialist system. It's called corporate welfare. Profits are privatized. Losses are paid for by everyone else. Oh my God. Let me read it again. We already have a capitalist socialist system. It's called corporate welfare. Profits are privatized. Losses are paid for by everyone else. If you don't understand that, look that shit up. Let me read some more. It says, exactly. They blame the others instead of providing a policy in which people can thrive again to close the ever-growing gap of classes. A lot of people I know who drive for Uber or any number of low-skilled jobs, they are highly intelligent and skilled people who don't have a niche in this economy. The vast majority of humans never gets to realize their potential because of the way the economy expects people to have limited roles, be scripted, show absolute conformity to the boss, and relegate their talents to outside office hours when people have spent most of their energy at work and have to give whatever they have left to raising the kids. Whew. These are very intelligent comments. Let me read some more. We are so good at analyzing and talking, but I'm tired of all this. I want change. Let's move on from discussion and start taking action for the sake of the world. Doom, 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 doom. A revolution, bro. Bubbling. They come around every now and then. We got one coming, bro. It's happening. This one's going to be global. It's going to be a global revolution. I hope I get to see it. Let me read some more. It says, it always was inevitable. Those that think otherwise simply don't yet understand the consequences of innovation on what is economically viable. There are unfortunately people that would likely advocate in defense of feudalism or slavery if they lived during such times when they were economically dominant strategies. Okay, that's the kind of shit be trying to get people to understand, and they really don't get it. I don't think. I really don't think so. Oh, yeah, man. Freaking revolution. I hope I do get to see it. I hope I get to see it. You know, you can't just keep doing this. You can't have this system. You can't have this model in place for too long. Like we was talking about in the show about how like what doesn't work and people pretend that something works when it doesn't. It's just you got to wiggle it. You got to press it hard. You got to say hallelujah, alhamdulillah, and then it'll work. It's like, and then they tell you, they're like, it must be you. It's you. You're the reason why it's not working. It works just fine for me. Teddy, Tommy, come over here. Does this thing work for y'all too? Yeah, it works. Oh, it must be you. Something wrong with you. You the problem. It's not the system. It's not the machine. The machine ain't broke. It's you. Something wrong with you. Anyways, you can't keep doing this. You can't keep on this exponential growth. You know what I'm saying? Unlimited, infinite exponential growth. That doesn't apply really in nature. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep polluting the environment. You can't keep screwing over people and lying to them and telling them that stir-fried shit is filet mignon. You can't keep doing that. At some point, there'll be a tipping point. There always is. I remember when I was a kid and I was thinking about this because something popped up on my timeline and it was talking about the wall, the Berlin Wall. I remember when I was a kid, it was on live TV when the wall came down. And it wasn't like a war. It wasn't like, it was a super dramatic event. The whole world was watching it. But it wasn't death and people shooting and stuff. It was really soft. And I think that's how things really happen. Like, it's that tide. It's the sand. You can't stop the sand. You can't stop the wind blowing. So it was like, I remember I was a kid. This was in the 80s. And somebody just like, they started picking at the wall. The people just had enough. And they just started picking at the walls with their hands and with little tools and little things that they had available. You know, no heavy machinery or nothing. Like, this is a brick wall. And these people are just chipping at it away. And I remember somebody got one brick out of it. I'm watching this on live TV. Somebody removed one brick. They had been chipping on it with like a spoon or some fucking shit. And they removed one brick. And it was like people on the other side of the wall, because see, the wall after the war, you know, they built the wall and they separated people. These were families that couldn't even see each other after the war, you know, because they were separated by this freaking stupid ass wall. And so anyways, they pulled the one brick out the wall and the person reached their hand through the wall and it was a loved one on the other end. Loved ones were like touching and shaking hands, people that they hadn't seen in a long ass time because of this damn wall. It was super, super touching, and I could feel the power in that event. Even as a child, I'm like, this is big. This is huge. This is major, you know? And that's what I'm saying, though. I think that we go through cycles and, you know, that wall had to go, you know, and the people had enough. And then so in the world, we got this wall on the world. It's like this freaking fake ass wall, this fake ass world that they got us all freaking in. We were scrolling and looking at our TikToks, Instagram, fucking Snapchat, Twitter, Reddit, whatever you want to input your favorite thing here. They got us all on this shit, and freaking the wall has to come down. The revolution is going to happen. At some point, people are going to be like, enough is enough. I'm tired of being separate. I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of them giving, you know, got me on this hamster wheel for no fucking reason. I'm tired of not being able to be creative. I'm tired of going to this stupid ass job and doing this monotonous ass, pointless ass fucking labor. Anyways, y'all, I think I'm going to wrap it. How y'all feel? I wanted to talk about back to school and shit, but I think I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. Everybody's going back to school. If they haven't already, they're going next week or the week after. It's that time of the year for the elementary, middle school, high school students, college students. Everybody's going back to school. Backpacks, school supplies, school clothes, getting the lunches figured out, schedules figured out, how you're going to get there and back, what's going to happen after school, all of that stuff. It's that time of the year. Yep. A lot of people affected by this, even the people who don't have kids, because the traffic's finna change. Yeah, man, that morning traffic's finna change. Y'all get your minds right. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. The traffic finna change. Get your mind right. Just know, if it hasn't already, it's about to change. I hate being in that fucking morning and afternoon traffic. And that's part of how I live my life, because we were talking about this in the video a bit, or the comments did. But like, quality of life, right? So in like me, I have a problem with it. Like you spend an hour, 2 hours in traffic going to work, and then another hour, 2 hours coming home every day. You could just add that on to the amount that, your job, and subtract that from what you're getting paid, because that's how much it costs. That's part of the whole thing. So you're making less than you think, especially if you have this long ass commute. But even besides that, it's the stress of being in the traffic, is avoiding wrecks every day, and construction and school zones and cops. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like to be on the road when everybody else is on the damn road. So I try to drive at other times, and that's part of the reason why I have the kind of job that I have. The job I have, I miss the traffic almost always. I don't like that. I don't like it. I would love to have a regular as 8 to 4 or something, man. 7 to 3 job, and have that 401k, have them 6-7 weeks of vacation, nights, weekends, and holidays off, full health care and dental. I would love to have that shit. I ain't gonna lie. And at this point in my life, all that I've been through, I probably would sit in the traffic if I was to get all of that. They're paying me at least 80, 85. Man, go ahead. I guess I'll just, because they didn't wear me down. I'm worn down. I'm beaten now. I'm giving up. So, like, I get paid 85. I get all those benefits. Bruh, I guess I'll do the mundane ass job that you want me to do. Whatever the hell it is. I don't even care. Like, fuck. It's like, you want me to peel the skin off of babies 8 hours a day. We so disconnected. We don't know what the result of the jobs we do, and it's like that on purpose. Like you think you're just fiddling around with some numbers or whatever the hell, but it has real world implications. There's some kid in the DRC who's digging some rare earth metals up out of the freaking earth, and he's like 6 or 7 years old, and he's freaking breathing in this dust, and he's in the sun and heat, and he's dealing with these toxic ass fucking materials and shit. And this is as a result of those numbers that you was fiddling with on your laptop on a Monday detail. Anyways, y'all, peace and love. I'm gonna wrap it. I'll be back tomorrow.